Hi, my name is Rosemary. I was a Zulu. Then he put a ring on it, and I'm now a Piri, and I'm excited to do this video, and I want to welcome you to my page, and also to thank you in advance for watching. So this is the BBC campaign. In case you're joining us for the very first time, BBC is Beauty with Brains and Character, a campaign that believes that it's possible to have all the three: the beauty, the brains, and the character. And a campaign that understands that, beauty and brains can bring you before kings and queens, but it's actually your godly character that will sustain you there. And obviously it's a godly character that will determine how long you'll be enjoying that favor that you find with those people. So today is a very exciting and humbling day for me, because in 2 days I and my husband will be clocking 6 years in marriage, and it has been 6 years of perpetual honeymoon. It has been 6 years of the faithfulness of God, the grace of God. It's been 6 years of accelerated growth, and I just look back and I just want to thank God that had it not been for him, I wasn't going to be where I am. Had it not been for him, we were not going to be where we are now. And today I want to share a few nuggets to a single lady concerning concerning marriage, because I'm in the love mood. So but I hope that you'll be able to pick one or two things. And in case I don't mention anything, my husband actually wrote a book. All right, and I put my story there, so you do well to get yourself a copy so that you can learn more about godly relationships. So quickly, my background, before you get excited and say, oh my God, she has a good marriage, she's always enjoyed love. Let me give you a bit of my background concerning that. So I was in a 8-year relationship, long relationship that didn't work. Obviously it's a relationship that I orchestrated, and I thought that obviously it would work, because my plan, remember, not God's plan, my plan was to marry my first love. So even when I was in a relationship, even when things were not working, I told myself back, until I get married to this guy, because I want to break a record that I've gotten married to my first love. Okay, obviously he was my first love, but my husband is a true and real love. So anyhow, so fast forward, we broke up. I was so broken. Remember, I was 27 by then, 27 years, and I told the whole world about him, and it was so hard. It was so heartbreaking to break up with him and stuff. But in that moment, I know a lot of people resort to doing something that is not beneficial to them. Some resort to saying, oh my God, men are like this, I don't want to get in a relationship again, I just want to have a child. I'll find a man, have sex with them and have a child. I just want to work hard, I want to pursue my career so that I can become this woman with a lot of money and so on, who is a man. I want to show a man that I have what it takes and so on. And they go on to do all sorts of things. Okay, but thank God, God loved me so much that even at that time was able to help me to say something that was beneficial. So for me, obviously my first frustration, I told God I don't want to have anything to do with guys. But the reason, I thank God that it was a very beneficial reason for me, because I said, God, I've been through stuff, so I want to know you for myself. Before I could find a guy, I want to know you, I want to love you. All right, and that's exactly what I did. I spent all my time, spending it in the presence of God, spending it at overnights and so on. I just wanted God. I was so hungry for God. I just wanted God to deal with me. And I also told God, teach me what it means to surrender. I told God to reveal me to me, and sometimes you can think that you are perfect, but we are not. So when God started to deal with me, he started to show me the gray areas concerning my character. At that point, one of the things that stood out is how I loved my boyfriend more than God, because I felt I could not do without him. Even in my prayer time, I was a Christian, I loved God, but I would say prayers like, God, change him for me. So it was all about me. So God started to show me, to say, you had replaced me. That's why it took you 8 years to let go. In that moment, I just surrendered my life to God, and I said, God, I surrender, deal with me. And I felt I was not ready for a relationship. I felt I needed to love him. So first point, if you want to be in a godly relationship, one of the things you need to do is you have to surrender to God. Surrendering to God means that at whatever age, you shouldn't be worried of biological clock. You shouldn't be worried about what people will say, but it will be about you and God. And even in that season of surrendering, you need to fix your eyes on God, knowing that God, has the power to bring that great man of God to you. So for me, I surrendered my life, and at that point I wasn't looking for any dude, okay? And it was a good place to be. I believe it was a good place for me, because through that time there was so much growth. Let me tell you something, there was so much growth that when my husband now saw me, he had known me for a couple of years already, but when my husband saw me, after that growth, he couldn't resist the fact that I was a wife material. Why? Because of that relationship with God. I learned to depend on God. I learned to know God for myself. And when he came back, it was easy for him to even propose, because at that point was just a brief background. We were friends, but him, I think he was so spiritually mature than me. But after that season of 1 year, he came back and he just realized, man, that I'd grown so much. Why? Because I worked on my relationship with God. And the second one is is about character. Even in my time of in the time that I was still single, I was not married, like I didn't want to entertain any guys, like I was very sure about my communication and what I communicated. I was a very social person. I had a lot of dudes, my friends, but they knew who I was. They knew things that I could tolerate and things that I could not tolerate. So for you, if you're in the waiting season, make sure that you don't excite people, because it's easy for people to think you have guys all over you, and the right man might not even come. So work on your character. Make sure that your character speaks for you in private and in public. Okay, so for me, that was one of the things that happened to me, and by God's grace, obviously, it was that season that he was still working on me. And lastly but not the least, I think it's important for you to have the working knowledge. I believe now, with my 6 years of experience, that it's easy to get married. Men are there, women are there. I can just pick one of those, desperate men and women and get married. But how sure are you that you're going to enjoy your marriage? People think that marriage is a destination. It's an introduction to a new season. So how you enter your marriage is very important, because it will determine how you will enjoy your marriage. It will determine whether or not you fulfill the purpose, your purpose on this planet. All right. So I like to tell people that it's easy to get married, but it's difficult to stay married. Some people stay married because of other reasons, but for me, I strongly believe that even in the midst of challenges, you can still enjoy marriage. And by the grace of God, my husband and I have enjoyed the 6 years of our marriage. We've had our own issues, our own challenges, and I'm so convinced that had it not been for Christ to be our rock, we weren't going to be where we are now. And lastly but not the least, I'd like to say to my husband, that WGP Urban Missionary, that I love you, I appreciate you, I celebrate your life. Thank you so much for all the sacrifices you've made for me. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to serve God with all I have, and with all I am. Right now, I'm recording this video. I'm impacting the world, not because I am clever, but because you allowed God to work through you. So I love you, and I'm looking forward to clocking 6 years with you. So for now, it's bye-bye, and this is Red Rose Urban Missionary. Remember, I love you, but Christ loves you more. Hi.